Hi everyone. So, mechanics of deformable bodies, strength of materials. So, this time we will discuss shear and bearing stresses. Okay? So, when you say shear stress, so merong iba't ibang condition dyan, no, under shear stress. Okay? So, number one, we have the single shear in a rivet. So, first of all, ano ba yung rivet? No? So, when you say rivet, so yan yung one of the tools, no, na ginagamit natin sa construction in order to connect, no, two members, no, or two plates, or depende kung ilang number of plates. Okay? So, for the meantime, we will consider an example. So, for example, ito. No? So, consider this as a top view, no? So, let's say meron tayong two plates dyan, okay, na pinag-connect ng isang rivet. Okay, mag-pointer muna tayo, guys. Okay? So, gawin natin pa yan. So, ito yung rivet natin, itong puti, no, as a top view or medyo gray. Then, itong brown na to as your plates, no? Pero kung titingnan natin yan ng side view, so, okay, imagine mo na guys na hinihila siya, no? Hinihila yan ng tension forces. So, let's say, yan yung P, no? Tension force P. Okay? Then, kung titingnan natin yan ng side view, guys, so, ganito po siya. No? So, let's say, this is the top plate, no? Top plate. Okay? Then, this is the bottom plate. Para lang mas ma-imagine pa natin. Okay? So, bottom plate. Then, itong part na to, so that is the rivet, no? Para hindi maghiwalay yung plate. Okay? So, ngayon, dito natin makikita yung orientation ng force P. Okay? So, yan yung force P. Then, ito, that is the projection, no? Para, yung broken lines kasi, yan yung presentation para dyan mo makikita yung body ng rivet. Okay? So ngayon, when you say shear, dun sa pinag-usapan natin sa introduction, na when you say shear, so it is related to what we call the parallel area. Okay? So kung sa normal force or normal stress, ang kino-consider natin is the force must be perpendicular with the cross-sectional area. Okay? But this time, when you say shear stress, we will consider that the force must be parallel with respect to the cross-sectional area kung ano man yung pinapa-analyze sa atin. So, since sinabi dyan na single shear in a rivet, so with respect to this force, okay, by the way, so with respect to this force, ano ba yung parallel area with respect to the rivet? Okay? So, sir, paano po natin ma-analyze po yung ganun? So, kindly imagine na kapag naghiwalay yan, no, due to the certain amount of force P. Siyempre, kapag nag-i-increase yung force P natin or lumalakas yung force, so possible na magkakaroon yan ng failure, no? So, kindly imagine, sobrang lakas na ng force P nyo, so may tendency yan na mababaklas yung isang plate to another. So, parang ganun, no? So, ito po yung mangyayari. So, ma-analyze po natin itong part na to for the rivet. So, kung ipo-project natin, guys, let's say, isang plate na lang yung natira. At kung mapapansin nyo, kung isang plate na lang yung i-consider natin, possible na mako-consider din natin na masisira na yung rivet. Kumbaga, putol na yung rivet. Kumbaga. Okay? So, yun na lang yung body ng rivet. Then, this is the tensile force P. So, with respect to the certain amount of P, ano ba yung magiging reaction ni rivet? Okay? Kasi sabi dito, single shear in a rivet. Ano yung magiging reaction ni rivet when it comes to shear? Take note, dapat ang makonsider natin dyan is the parallel area dun sa rivet. So, ngayon, ang tanong, ano ba yung parallel area sa rivet na magre-resist dito sa force P natin. Okay? At kung mapapansin nyo, ito po yun. Okay? V is equal to P. Take note that this V is the shear force, right? No? Shear force. Okay. So, recall na lang natin dun sa first lecture. So, shear force. So, due to summation of forces along horizontal, so V is also equal to P. Okay. Knowing na isang rivet lang ito, guys. Okay. Isang rivet lang muna yung ina-analyze natin. So, sir, ngayon, kung ang general concept ng stress is equal to force over area, ano yung area na i-consider natin dito, sir? Okay, take note. When you say shear again, so sliding, tama po ba? So, ano yung magi-slide dun sa part ng rivet? Okay. So, kung papansin nyo guys, kung i-imagine nyo na dito kayo titingin sa perspective na to. Okay? So, ito yung mata nyo, tapos titingin kayo sa ilalim ng plate na yan. Ang makikita nyo po, mostly kapag rivet, yan po ay circular area. So, in that circular area, doon magkakaroon ng shear or sliding resistance ni rivet with respect to P. Okay? So, ngayon, ang isasolve nating area dyan is the area of circle. Okay? So, paalala na lang, ang area ng circle is equal to pi over 4 d squared. Or kung masanay kayo in terms of radius, pwede rin naman na pi r squared. Okay? So, depende po no, kung anong given. Okay? Basta tandaan, ang magkakaroon ng sliding resistance dyan ay yung circular area ni rivet. Okay? Next. How about double shear in a bolt? So, yung bolt, guys, almost the same purpose lang din yan with rivet na nagko-connect din ng ilang members or ilang structural members. So, for example, meron kang ganitong structural member, no? So, if I am not mistaken, this is what we call clevis, no? So, i-research nyo na lang din. Pero ito guys, ito yung bolt, no? Okay? Yan yung bolt natin. So, i-detalye lang natin para mas mag-gets nyo. So, let's say yan yung bolt. Then, mag-apply ulit tayo ng tension force P. So, ngayon, with respect to bolt, knowing the concept of shear, no? Na ano ba yung part ng bolt ang magkakaroon ng shear resistance or sliding resistance kapag in-apply natin itong force P. O sige, isolate natin. Gawa natin ng free body diagram. So, kapag in-isolate natin yan, so analyze natin yung part na yan, pati ito, itong dalawa. So, ito na lang, no? So, applying force P. Okay? So, ngayon, kapag in-apply natin itong force P dyan, anong area or anong parallel area doon sa bolt ang magkakaroon ng shear or sliding resistance? Okay, imagine na lang guys, hilain mo ito ng P. Therefore, anong magiging reaction ng bolt? So, merong isa dito, meron din isa sa kabila. Therefore, if we take summation forces along to that axis, therefore, paghahatian po yan ng dalawang shear force. Okay? So, for example, if P is equal to 50, okay? Therefore, itong V dito ay 25. Tama po ba? Okay? Same concept sa kabila, 25 din po yan. Okay? And ngayon, anong makikita nating area or parallel area kung saan nagkaroon ng sliding or shearing? So, ito po siya. So, take note, mostly sa bolt, yan ay circular area din. So, we have area is equal to pi over 4 b squared. Okay? Or, kung masanay kayo ulit ng radius, so, pi r squared, no? Okay? So, ngayon, sir, ano pong pinagkaiba ng single shear in a rivet or single shear na lang, pati double shear? Kung mapapansin nyo, guys, ilang area ba ang naapektuhan? Yun na lang isipin natin. When you say single shear, so parang dalawang pati, okay? Para lang mas maintindihan nyo, na itong area lang ang naapektuhan, isa lang. Unlike sa double shear, para na siyang may palaman. Okay, ito yung palaman. Okay, tapos ito yung dalawang tinapay, no? Therefore, dalawang area yung magkakaroon ng shear resistance. Okay? Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na single shear or double shear. Yan yung kailangan yung i-check guys, no? Lalo na kapag meron tayong pinag-aaralan ng mga connections, no? Rivet, bolt, kung ano-ano pang plates, no? Depende yan, no? So, may solve naman natin yan mamaya. Okay? So, para mas ma-imagine nyo in actual, so let's say, kung ito ay rivet, no? Imagine nyo na lang, ito ay rivet. Ganito po yung actual failure due to shear, no? At kung mapapansin nyo, itong part na to, nagkaroon ng sliding, no? Kasi ang axis, ang original axis talaga niyan, guys, is this one. Kung i-straight natin yan. Nung hindi pa siya nag-failure, guys, so ito talaga yung original setup ng rivet. Pero since nagkaroon na siya ng shear failure, so itong part na to, nagkaroon ng sliding dyan. Okay? So hopefully na intindihan po yan, no? Okay? Next. How about this kind of shear? So may tinatawag din tayong punching shear. So ito po yung example niya, no? So when you say punching shear, guys, so kindly imagine compilation ng papel. Okay, compilation ng papel tapos bubutasan nyo using puncher. Okay? So for example, ito yung papel, no? Ito. Tapos ito yung puncher. So yan yung cylindrical punch. Then ito yung metal sheet na lang, kumbaga. Okay? Then let's say mag-apply tayo ng compressive force P in order to magkaroon ng butas, no, yung metal sheet. So ngayon, analyze natin yung part na yan. So, yan yung magiging free body diagram natin. So, we have this force P. Okay? Then, eto guys, kung mapapansin nyo, since cylindrical po yan, therefore, ang magiging cross-sectional area po niyan, yung punch na yan, ay circular din. Therefore, ang magiging butas niya dun sa metal sheet ay naka-circle din. Tama po ba? So, circle din yung magiging butas po niyan. Kaso, ang tanong, since we are dealing with shear stress, okay, then general concept is force over area. Ano na naman kayang parallel area ang ma-consider natin dito? Okay? So, we have this force P. So, take note, parallel area. So, meron tayong dimension na D as your diameter. Then, meron tayong thickness. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, naka-curve to, guys. So, ibig sabihin, yung palibot ng butas na yun, guys, ma-imagine nyo, yung palibot ng butas, okay, ito. Yan, sabihin natin ganyan. Yung parallel dun sa butas, guys, yun yung magiging shearing area. Yun yung makikis-kis. Yun yung magkakaroon ng sliding from applying the compressive force P doon sa metal sheet. Okay? So, there is a series of shear forces, no? Doon sa palibot ng butas, no? Para ma-resist niya yung effect ng P na yan. So, hopefully, maintindihan, no? So, that is also V is equal to P. Na kapag tinake mo yung resultant niyan, yung series of shear forces na yan, so, mag-a-act pa rin yan sa centroid, sa pinakagitna. Therefore, yan yung magiging V natin. So, V, so summation of forces along vertical, so we have V is equal to P. Okay? So, therefore, ang shearing area natin is equal to pi dt. So, sir, bakit po pi dt? Okay, take note. Since circular yung naging butas po dyan, therefore, kung ito na lang palatandaan, ang general formula kapag punching, so when you say punching, no? Etong pi d na yan, take note, that is the, what we call, circumference. Okay, kung naalala nyo guys, no? Yung circumference ng circle. Okay? Circumference ng Tama ba spelling? Kaya tama yan, no? Circumference ng circle. Okay? Then ito, we have this thickness. So, sir, paano po, paano po naging ganun, no? Circumference times the thickness. So, again, general formula, when you say circumference, that is also a perimeter, no? Palibot nga po, di ba? So, perimeter. Okay? So, kahit anong shape pa yan, kung ano pang shape ng butas na yan, general approach, kunin nyo yung perimeter ng butas na yon, then saka nyo i-times ng thickness. Yun yung magiging shearing area. Okay? So, para mas ma-imagine nyo pa, so for example, meron kang lata, no? O di kaya itong circular na yan, guntingin mo, no? So, from the circle, kapag ginunting mo, magiging rectangular yon. Tama po ba? Kapag nilatag mo yung circular na lata, tapos ginunting mo, no? So, magiging magiging rectangular yan. Wherein, yung circumference na to na may pi d, kapag ginawa mong rectangular, nandito na yung pi d sa isang side. No? Then, merong thickness dyan. Then, solving for the shearing area, so, approach natin is the area of rectangles. We have length times width. So, we have pi d as your length. Then, yung width, that is your thickness. Kaya nakuha rin yung shearing area na pi d p. So, take note this is exclusive, no? This is exclusive for circle only. So, gagamitan nyo lang yan kapag circular yung naging punching. Okay? So, take note, we have the shear stress, no? So, it is denoted as tau, no? Kapag normal, di ba, sigma? Kapag shear naman, this is tau. Okay? Is equal to V. So, that is the shear force. Okay? Shear force. As we recall dun sa first lecture natin. So, shear force. Then, itong AV, the shearing area. Basta lagi nyo titingnan guys, parallel na makikis-kis. Yan. Or magkakaroon ng slide. Okay? Shearing area. Okay? So take note, AV is the cross-sectional area that is parallel to the force. So the difference between the normal stress and the shearing stress. So kapag normal stress, the force must be perpendicular to the cross-sectional area. Kapag shearing naman, the force must be parallel with respect to cross-sectional area. Okay? So next. So para mas ma-imagine nyo guys, ito yung actual na nangyayari. Bakit ba natin inaaral yung shear stress? So kindly imagine this is a slab, no? So this is a punching shear failure through a slab or footing. So I think you are aware naman kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng slab, no? Yung slab, mapapansin nyo, yan yung mga floors natin sa building, no? Then yung footing naman, yan yung part ng foundation natin kapag nagtatayo tayo ng structure. So kindly imagine guys, this is a column, no? Then etong bumagsak na to, yan yung mga bigat doon sa slab, no? Okay? Then sa sobrang bigat, no, nagkaroon ng ganitong failure na tinatawag nating punching shear failure. So ngayon, ano naging butas natin diyan? Kung mapapansin nyo, ang naging shape ng butas dito guys, hindi po circle. Kasi at the first place, hindi naman circular column. Kasi ito ay rectangular. Okay? Or pwede natin makonsider as square. So, ibig sabihin, kunyari, pinakompute sa'yo, what is the shear stress, blah, 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 in this kind of situation. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung force, sabihin natin nandito yung force, no? Okay? Yan yung force P. Kapag niresultant mo yung intensity of the forces dito sa slab, no? Then ngayon, ang magiging shearing area natin, hindi po ito guys kasi ito ay perpendicular with respect to cross-sectional area of your column. Ang kailangan natin makuha to solve for shear stress is this one. Itong nasa pagitan nung, okay? Yan, nasa pagitan dyan. Or nasa palibot nung naka-align sa dimension ng column. So, meron pa yan sa gilid. Di lang nakikita dyan. Okay? Kaya kung isosolve yung shearing area, guys, ang general approach for AB, yan ay perimeter. Okay? Sige, sulat ko na lang guys para mas maintindihan nyo pa. Perimeter times thickness. Okay? Laging ganun na lang guys para mas madali nyo maintindihan. To solve for the shearing stress kapag punching. Okay? So hopefully nasundan, no? Okay? So next, bearing stress naman tayo guys. So when you say bearing stress naman, so, sige, mag-example na lang tayo para mas maintindihan. So, this is our example ulit do sa una, no? So, meron ulit two plates connected by a rivet, no? Then, we apply tensile force P on both plates. Then, kapag isa-side view natin yan, guys, okay? So, yan yung top and bottom plate with a rivet. Again, ito yung body ng rivet, ha? Ngayon, sir, paano naman i-analyze yung bearing stress? So, in this kind of situation, guys, na involve yung plates, so ito yung magiging analysis. Sige, mag-cut tayo ng section, then consider natin ito. So, naka-isometric, no? Para mas madali nyo maintindihan. So, ngayon, this is a rivet, and this is a plate. Then, nag-apply tayo ng force P. Okay? So, ang tanong, ano ang magiging area dito? Okay? So, para mas madaling matandaan, guys, bearing stress, okay, take note ha, bearing stress is a special type, no? Special type of normal stress. So, parang maire-relate natin yan dun sa perpendicular area. Kasi nga, special type siya ng normal stress. Okay? So, ano yung normal stress or ano yung perpendicular area kailangan natin i-consider dito? Okay? So, solve lang muna natin ano ba yung magiging resistance ng rivet na yan with respect to P. So, let's call it natin PB, no? P sub B, bearing force na lang. No? Na kapag sinamation natin, summation forces along this axis, so PB is equal to P. No? So, kung ito ay 50, for example lang, so, for the rivet, maging resistance niyan ay 50 din. Okay? So, ang tanong, ito po siya guys. Ito ang kailangan natin i-solve, no? The projected area of the rivet. So, kindly imagine guys, in between plate, no? Plate and the rivet, ano yung magiging possible failure dyan? So, kapag itong P, nagkaroon ng increasing value, no? Nag-increase yan, so, syempre, possible na magkakaroon din ng failure, no? So, may tendency din dyan, guys, na kapag sobrang lakas na ng force, kapag hinila yung plate sa ganitong side, no? So, may iwan yung rivet dyan, pero, since this is a projected, no? Projected path, no? Magkakaroon ng butas po dito sa plate. Okay? So, mapapansin nyo, itong projected area na yan, yan din yung parang area of, sige, pakita na natin, area of contact, okay? That is the area of contact between the plate and the rivet, okay? So, yan yung kailangan nating i-solve. So, paano natin i-solve yan? So, itong rectangular na yan, ano yung magiging basis natin for the dimension of this projected area? So, we have this one, the diameter. So, yung diameter ng rivet corresponds to the isang length nung rectangular na to, na projected area, times the thickness of your plate. So, sa mga ganitong situation, guys, we have this formula o naka-sigma B. Kasi itong sigma B, yung bearing, is also under normal stress. Okay? So, para lang mas madali niyong matandaan, normal stress din po yan. Kaso, ang pinagkaiba nga lang, anong area ang kinoconsider natin. So, in this case, we have P over dt. So, yung dt na yan, guys, yan yung dimension ng projected area of the rivet with respect to plate. Okay? So, kapag may mga ganyang problem, no, ganyan, madalas ang ginagamit. And take note, yung A sub B, again, area of contact between two components. So, yung two components na kino-consider dito, guys, is the plate, pati yung rivet. Yun ang lagi niyong tatandaan kapag nagsosolve kayo ng bearing stress. Kapag nagsolve kayo ng bearing stress, check nyo kung ano ba yung dalawang material na involved. Okay? Again, dalawang material na involved. And check nyo, kapag nakuha nyo na yung dalawang material na yon, ano ba yung parang contact area nila? Na kapag pinagdikit mo, ano yung area of contact? Okay, medyo binaliktad ko lang, no? Pero sana naintindihan po, no? Okay. Sige, para mas madali nyo maintindihan pa. Okay? So, the actual failure na makikita kapag bearing stress is this one. Okay? So, sobrang lakas ng force. Let's say, nandito yung force natin. So, nangyayari po yan, no? Bearing stress failure at a bolted connection. So, kindly imagine, merong bolt dito initially. So, sige, drawingan natin para malupit. No? So, may bolt dyan. Perfect circle. Okay? Kaso, sobrang lakas ni P. Okay? So, nagkaroon ng ganito, guys. Sir, bakit curve? So, ganito, dapat, in true analysis, curve talaga yan. Okay? Curve. Pag ganyan. Okay? Then, kung mapapansin nyo, kapag titingin tayo sa ibang perspective, may kita natin yung thickness nitong plate na to. So, ganito. Okay? Supposedly, dapat ganito yung kukunin nating area. Naka-curve. Kaso, in actual computation naman, guys, mahirap naman pong isolve yan. Kaya, nag-consider tayo ng projected area na lang po. Okay? Para siyang approximate, guys. No? So, in that case, na instead of this one, yan yung true area. Sabi natin true area. True curve area na kailangan nating masolve. Okay? Ito yung thickness kasi, guys. Kung makikita nyo, ito yung thickness ng plate. No? Yan yung thickness ng plate. Ito ang kakailangan natin consider. Itong part na to times yung thickness ng plate. Sorry medyo hindi perfect yung rectangle. So, may thickness dyan. Then, ito corresponds to the diameter. So, yan yung diameter ng bolt. Okay? Diameter ng bolt times the thickness ng plate. Na instead of curved area, mahirap po kasi to, guys. Mahirap to. No? So, ginawa na lang, approximation na lang, kaya siya naging rectangular. Okay? So, hopefully nasundan yung concept ng shear and bearing. So, let's solve. Problem solving. So, problem number 1. So, a hydraulic punch press is used to punch a slot in a 0.50-inch thick plate as illustrated in the figure. So, if the plate shears at a stress of 30 KSI, o take note guys naka-English po tayo, inches, KSI. So, when you say KSI, kilopounds per square inch. So, determine the minimum force P required to punch the slot. Okay, so ito yung figure natin. Then, plan view of slug, ito yung itsura ng butas na makikita nyo po dito. Okay? Yan yun, no? So, kindly imagine, guys. So, ito, it is an under, okay, or this problem is under punching shear. Okay? Ang pinapakuha sa atin, ano daw itong minimum force P na yan? Required to punch the slot. Okay? So, lagi na natatandaan, force over area. But since shear yan, force over parallel area. Okay? Binigyan ka ng shears at a stress, so that is the tau. Okay? Then, binigyan ka ng thickness nung itong slug na yan, no? Slug. O yung plate na yan. Yung plate pala rather. Plate. Okay. So, sige. Solve natin. So, kung papansin nyo guys, again, this is a punching shear. So, the general concept kanina is perimeter. So, guys, hindi na po ito pi dt. Okay? Take note, yung pi d na yon is exclusive for a circular punch. No? Kaso, ang tanong, etong shape po ba yan ay considered as a circle? Siyempre, hindi po, ano? So, kung papansin nyo, para siyang pinag-combo na kalahating circle dito, tapos may isang rectangle. O, imagine nyo na lang, parang spam. Yan, spam sa bahay nyo. Okay? Yung delata na spam, di ba, ganyan yung itsura niyan. So, imagine nyo, kapag tatanggalin nyo na yung laman ng spam, di ba, ipupush nyo, tama po ba? Siyempre, bubuksan nyo both sides, then ipupush nyo yung spam. So, yung pag-push nyo, yan yung considered as force P. Okay? So, sige. Ito yung magiging ano natin. So, alam na natin na yung force P is also equal to the reaction dun sa part na magkakaroon ng shearing resistance. Okay? Kung mapapansin nyo, itong slug na to, na tinatawag na slug, so sa palibot niyan o sa perimeter po niyan, doon magkakaroon ng series of shearing forces. Okay? Na kapag niresultant mo yan, okay, it will act at the center, okay, along the axis of P, so that is also a V. So that is the shearing force now. So if you take summation of forces along vertical, V is also equal to P. Okay? So starting from this concept, so tau or the shear stress is equal to V over A sub V. Okay? So we have this one. So 30. So take note, this is 30 KSI, that is the shearing stress, is equal to V. Yan yung kailangan din natin makuha kasi wala naman binigay na force over A sub V. Sige, simulan natin dito, guys. Again, yung if we take a summation of forces along along vertical rather, so we have V is also equal to P. Okay? Then yung A sub V, guys, take note A sub V corresponds kapag punching shear, we have the perimeter, take note, perimeter, okay, times thickness. Okay. So, kapag circular yung butas niyan, guys, automatic pi dt. Kaso hindi. Di general muna natin, perimeter times thickness. Okay? So, yung perimeter, manggagaling po yan dito sa plan view of slug. So, ano ba yung sukat ng perimeter niyan? Okay? Sige, start natin. We have 2 times 3. So, bakit 2 times 3 dito, sir? Kung mapapansin nyo, consider muna natin itong part na to. Okay, itong rectangular part. Okay. Ito lang yung i-consider nyo, guys, ha? Itong dimension dito sa palibot. Hindi yung tawag dito, itong vertical na to, na broken line, hindi po kasama yan, no? Kasi sa area na yan, kung i-solve nyo yung area mismo nung plan view, kailangan nyo i-consider yan. But take note, perimeter muna. Okay? So, perimeter, ito po yun. So, para mas makita. Isa po dito, isang 3. Okay? Then, pangalawang 3. So, we have 2 times 3. Plus, take note, plus. Ito guys, isang half circle to. Tama po ba? Then ito, isang half circle din. They have the same diameter, corresponds to 0.75 inch. Para mas madali. Kapag ba pinagdikit ko tong isang half, dito sa pangalawang half, di ba magiging isang circle po siya? Okay? So, dyan mo makocompute ngayon yung circumference niyan, yung perimeter ng circle. Pag-combine na natin, yan yung equivalent to pi d. Okay? So we have pi times the diameter, yan yung 0.75 inch. Okay? Then pag-add natin, yan yung magiging perimeter pa lang. Times the thickness na binigay sa'yo, 0.50 inch thick plate. O unit analysis muna. This is KSI or kilopounds per square inch. Okay? Then, na kailangan mong ma-solve yung P. So, force, take note, unit of force. So, dapat, since yung area of shearing natin is square inch, so, dapat itong nasa taas ay naka-kilopounds. No? Kilopounds po. So, ang sagot, shift solve nyo na lang yan. So, we have V. By the way, burahin ko muna. V is equal to P, also equal to P, and also equal to 125.3429 kilopounds. Okay? So, that is the answer for problem number 1. Considering punching shear. Okay, next. Problem number 2. So, the beam shown in the figure is supported by a pin at C and by a short link AB. So, if W is equal to 30 kN per meter, so determine the average shear stress in the pins at A and C. Each pin has a diameter of 25 mm. So, assume the length is equal to 1.8 meters and the angle is equal to 35 degrees. Okay? O, sige. Let's visualize the problem muna. Kung mapapansin nyo guys, ibang problem na naman to. Hindi na to punching ha. Okay? So, dito, given dito ay W is equal to 30 kN. So, ito po yon, the uniformly distributed load or tinatawag nating UDL. So, alam nyo na yan sa statics nyo. So, rectangular load. Okay? Then, determine the average shear stress in the pins at A. Ito. Pin po yan. Okay? Pins at A and C. So, each pin has a diameter of 25 mm. So, the length is equal to 1.8. Then, 35, itong angle na yan, 35 degrees. Okay? So, sir, paano po ba isolve yung ganitong problem? O, ganun pa rin, guys. Nag-iba man yung nature ng problem, but the concept, still the same. Okay? So, lagi tayong magsisimula or ng analysis, is shearing stress to, laging force over area. Laging ganun, guys. Yun yung puhunan natin sa strema. Force over area. Ang tanong, anong force, anong area, anong stress? Yan. Diyan tayo magkakatalo, guys. No? So, sige, solve natin to. So, since we are dealing with pins A and C, kailangan muna nating malaman kung ano ba yung force na dadaan or mag-i-slide dun sa A, pati C. Okay? Kasi shearing daw eh. Shearing stress po yan. E binigyan ka naman na kasi ng diameter, so wala ka ng problema. Okay? Kasi ang shearing area pagdating sa pin, o parang rivet lang din guys. So ang shearing area dyan is the area of circle, automatic. Kasi diameter binigay eh. So masolve nyo na yan, yung shearing area, pi over 4 d squared or pi r squared. Kung gusto nyo pang kalahatiin yung diameter into radius. Okay? So, sige. Solve muna natin, guys. So, replace natin yung mga values. We have W is equal to 30 kN per meter. Then, we have the length is equal to 1.8 meters. Okay? Then, sige, solve natin. Since pin yan, therefore, we have two reactions, no? Two possible reactions. Ganito, kayo nang bahala mag-assume, guys, sa statics. Pero, para mas mabilis, gagawin ko na lang upward itong vertical reaction sa C. Kasi nga, puro downward yung nararanasan niya due to UDL, Uniformly Distributed Load. So, we have C sub B. Let's call it C sub B. Then, yung horizontal niya, gawin natin going to the right. Sir, bakit going to the right? Kasi, sa unang tingin, to maintain the equilibrium of the beam shown in the figure, meron kasing connected na it is supported by a short link. So, papansin nyo, when you say short link, pagdating sa statics, you can replace this short link as ganitong force. Okay? Para hindi bumagsak yung beam mo. Burahin ko muna yung sa link part. Okay? Since going to the left, or first quadrant yung force ng link mo, so possible, yung horizontal component nun is going to the left. Therefore, to maintain the equilibrium, ang magiging reaction ng CH natin dyan is going to the right. Okay? So, pwede nyo namang ma-check yan using calculations na kapag nag-negative, therefore, palitan nyo lang yung assumption nyo. Okay? So, next, analyze natin yung mga pins. Kung mapapansin nyo, etong pin C natin, pin at C, parang tinapay, tama po ba? Merong band, merong palaman. Therefore, is it single shear or double shear? Yan. Yan yung kailangan nyo rin i-consider, guys. Pagdating sa mga connection, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, pin connection po ito. No? So, in this case, merong dalawang area. Isa dito sa taas, isa dito sa baba. Makikita nyo. Okay? Therefore, we need to consider the pin C as double shear. How about point A or pin A? Isa lang po yung mag-shear dyan. Ito lang po yun. Therefore, ang computation natin dyan must be single shear. So, hopefully na nakita nyo na yung difference between the single shear and double shear. Then, analyze natin yung force dun sa link. So, cut natin yung link para lumabas yung internal force. Ayan. Yan yung mga basic concept natin guys, no? So, ito yung magiging RB natin. Let's call it reaction at B na lang. And since naka-inclined, consider natin yan based sa given, which is equal to 35 degrees with respect to horizontal. Okay? Sige, solve natin yung mga forces kasi yan yung kailangan natin para ma-solve si stresses. So, dito, ang ginawa muna natin is summation of moment about point C is equal to 0 para ma-solve natin yung RB. So, since naka-incline yung RB nyo, edi gawin nyo munang components. So, RB must be breakdown into two components. So, this is RB. Since ito, given yung 35, so this is RB sine of 35. Then, this is RB cosine of 35. Basic na yan sa inyo, no? Kasi statics. So, ngayon, kapag moment tayo sa C, mawawala itong RB cosine 35 kasi yan po ay dadaan sa point C din. Therefore, walang perpendicular distance. So, paiikutin lang natin dyan is this RB sine of 35. Okay? So, clockwise positive tayo as our sign convention. So, we have RB sine 35 degrees times perpendicular distance na 1.8 meters. Okay? Minus 30. Resultant natin, guys. Okay, ito, resultant muna natin dito. So, 30 times 1.8. Then, the perpendicular distance, ito yon. So, kalahati ng 1.8. So, we have 1.8 over 2 equal to 0. Since ikot yan, counterclock, therefore, we have negative. Okay? Then, solving for RB, we have 47.0731 kilonewtons. Next, solve naman natin yung CV and CH. Summation of forces along horizontal na lang muna. So, we have negative RB cosine of 35 kasi going to the left plus CH equal to 0. So, automatic, CH is equal to replace muna natin yung RB as 47.0731. Kindly make sure guys na tama yung RB natin. Kasi kapag mali yung pagka-solve natin sa RB, edi yung succeeding steps natin, magkakamali na rin yung values. So please be careful, no? Sa pag-solve pa lang ng reactions. Okay? So, solving for CH, magiging positive na po yan. So, we have 38.56 kilonewton going to the right. So, mahalaga rin guys, no, yung paglagay ng direction ng bawat reaction para at least may basis kayo sa pag-compute. Then, solving for CB, so summation of forces along vertical, so we will consider RB sine 35 minus the resultant of the UDL, yung uniformly distributed load natin, minus 30 times 1.8 plus the assumed upward CV equal to 0. Okay? Then replace natin ulit yung RB as 47.0731 and shift solve, you will get CV equal to 27 exact, no? 27 kilonewton upward. Okay? O sige, since may mga forces na tayo, yung mga forces na nasolve na natin, guys, dadaan po yan sa A. For example, itong RB, dadaan po yan sa A. O ganyan. Si CH, pati CB, dadaan din kay pin C. Okay? So, analysis natin at pin C in order to solve for the shear stress sa C. So, since itong CH at CB, it will create sliding effect kasi sa point C. Itong CH, magkakaroon ng sliding effect dito. Okay? Then yung CB, hindi nyo na makikita in this perspective, pero magkakaroon ng sliding effect niyan along vertical din. Therefore, since both of them will create sliding effect dun sa pin, edi kailangan natin isolve na lang yung resultant niyan. Okay? So, RC is equal to square root of Pythagorean theorem lang based on your statics. So, 38.56 squared plus 27 squared. So, we will have sakto din, no? 47.0731. So, sir, bakit mo siya sakto sa RC? Sa RB? So, since symmetrical kasi yung loading natin, guys, so yung RB, kung ano yung RB natin, ganun din yung magiging RC. Okay? So, hopefully, nasundan ulit yung concept na yan. So, yung RC na yan, yan yung gagamitin natin as the total shearing force pagdating sa C. So, we have this same concept, no? To solve for the shearing stress. So, we have shearing stress at C is equal to 47.0731. Take note, minultiply ko muna to 1,000 para maging Newton. Kasi ang goal natin lagi, guys, is maging megapascals. So, this is kilonewton. Then, convert it to Newton by multiplying 1,000 over the area. Take note, ang area na maapektuhan pagdating sa C ay double. Okay? Dalawa. Therefore, we need to consider the double shearing area. That's why meron po tayong multiplier na 2 times the area of the circle because yung pin C natin has a diameter of 25 mm. So, pi over 4 times 25 squared. Solving for the shearing at C, so we have 47.9483 megapascals. O, take note, again, unit analysis, this is Newton sa taas over square millimeters. That's why the Newton over square millimeters is also resulting to megapascals. O, balikan nyo ulit yung first topic. Okay? And same concept with analysis at pin A. So, ganun lang din ulit. Since yung RB, yung total RB ay dadaan na doon sa A, magkakaroon ng shearing effect dyan. So, diretsuin na natin. So, we have 47.0731 times 1,000. So, again, this is Newton. And the difference nga lang is single shear na po siya. Okay? Isang area na lang po yung magkakaroon ng sliding dyan. Therefore, wala tayong multiplier ng 2. So, isa lang. Okay? So, pi over 4 times 25 squared. Then, solving for the shearing stress at A. So, we have 95.8965 megapascals. Okay? So, these are the answers for problem number 2. Hopefully, na-gets po, no? Okay, next. Problem number 3. So, the lap joint is connected by three 20 mm diameter rivets. So, assuming that the axial load P is equal to 50 kN is distributed equally among the three rivets. So, find letter A, the shear stress in a rivet. Letter B, the bearing stress between a plate and a rivet. And letter C, the maximum average tensile stress in each plate. So, ganito guys. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung orientation kanina ng concept is nag-consider tayo ng top and bottom plates. Tama po? Pero isang rivet lang. So, in this case, we will consider 3 rivets. Okay? So, kung papansin nyo, para mabilis lang, shear stress kaagad. Kung yung P is equal to 50, ang tanong, yung isang rivet po ba, ang reaction ng isang rivet, 50 rin po ba? Take note 50 kN is distributed equally. So, paghahatian po yan ng tatlong rivets. So, per rivet, magkakaroon siya ng 50 over 3. Okay? So, 50 over 3 dito. Same with here sa second rivet and the third rivet. So, hopefully, ganun nyo siya kaagad maisip, no? Para makita nyo na kaagad yung free body diagram. Sige, solve natin. So, shear stress in a rivet. Take note, in a rivet lang. Isang rivet lang po yung i-analyze po natin dyan. Okay? Sige. Free body diagram. Ito po. Mag-consider ka muna top or bottom plate. Consider na lang natin top plate kasi same effect lang din naman po yan pagdating sa bottom plate. So ngayon, based on the given problem, the 50 kN P is distributed equally among the three rivets. Therefore, kung ito ay 50, okay? So magre-resist, no? Magre-resist din po yung bawat rivet equal to letter V. So magre-resist along horizontal, itong rivet din, itong pangatlong rivet. So therefore, each shear force must be equivalent to P over 3. Okay? Pero kung isang rivet lang yung nilagay dyan, edi V is equal to P. Tama? 50-50. Pero since tatlo na sila guys, edi each rivet magkakaroon ng 50 over 3. Okay? So hopefully nasundan po yung part na yan. So, ganun lang ulit yung concept, guys. Take note, ito pala. Check nyo muna kung single shear or double shear. Since isang area lang naman ang affected, which is itong part lang naman na to, or isang area lang naman ng isang rivet ang affected, therefore, it is concluded as single shear. Unless kung meron pang isang plate dito na parang dalawang tinapay na may palaman or may top, middle, and bottom plate, dyan magkakaroon ng double shear. Okay? Sige, solve natin. So, yan ulit, shearing stress is equal to V over A sub V. So, solve natin. We have itong V, wherein V is equal to P over 3. Kaya may 50 over 3 po dito. 50 over 3 kilonewtons. But then again, kailangan natin i-multiply ng 1,000 para maging newton po ito. Then, since single shear ang approach, therefore, isang area lang. So, pi over 4, 20 squared. Kasi we have 20 mm diameter for each rivet. And upon solving, we have the shear stress in a rivet equal to 53.0516 megapascals. Okay? So, huli nasundan po itong part na to. Then, how about letter B? The bearing stress between a plate and a rivet. Kung mapapansin nyo guys, kapag tinatanong yung bearing stress, laging involve yung dalawang material. Okay? So, again, two materials, two contact areas must be considered in order to solve for the bearing stress. Okay? So, ngayon, ano kaya yung contact area between a plate and a rivet? Okay? Solve natin. So, bearing stress between a plate and a rivet. O, di ba ganito po yung parang orientation po ulit niyan? Okay? So, for a rivet here, so parang katulad lang ng concept kanina, so nag-apply ng tensile force P, so yung resistance ng rivet, so maging PB or bearing force is equal to P. Kapag isang rivet lang siya, kaso tatlo na. Therefore, hindi na po equal to P po yan. So, yan yung isang rivet. So, i-relate natin dun sa itong rivet na to. So, hindi na po siya automatic P lang. Yan po ay magiging P over 3 na. Okay? So, since ano pa rin, bearing stress, ang consider natin is this one. Okay? The projected area of the rivet. Kasi yan yung magiging failure dapat niyan pagdating sa bearing stress. So, solving for this one, so we have bearing stress, sigma, is equal to PB over AB. In this situation, we have P over DT. So, DT is the projected area of the rivet. Then substitute natin. So, we have 50 over 3 times 1,000. Again, this is converted to newtons over DT. So, yung diameter natin is equal to 20 mm. Then, the thickness of the plate, ito po yun, yung 25 mm. Okay? Then, solving, so we have 33.3333 megapascals. Okay? Then, for letter C, the maximum average tensile stress in each plate. So, etong part na to guys, medyo challenging lang itong isipin. Pero, hugutin natin, no, yung konsepto dyan. So, tinatanong sa atin, tensile stress. So, when you say tensile stress, it is the stress due to the effect of the tensile force. Tama po ba? Ang tensile force natin dito is yung P. Pag sinabing tensile, so manggagaling po yan sa normal stress. Kasi normal stress can be tensile stress or compressive stress. Depende kung ano yung application ng force. Kung tension ba or compression. So in this case, itong plate natin nag-undergo ng tensile stress due to this tensile force P na 50 kN. Ang tanong, since stress yan, kailangan natin ng force over area. Another tanong, anong area ang i-consider natin ngayon? Okay, since tensile stress is under normal stress, so the area must be perpendicular with respect to the orientation of the force. So ito po siya guys, no? So maximum average tensile stress in each plate. So ito po siya guys. Kung mapapansin nyo, parang galing din po siya dito sa bearing approach, no? Kaso ang i-consider na lang din natin dito, itong application ni P. So binaliktad ko lang guys, no? So meron niyang P din. So ngayon, anong area ang involved na dapat perpendicular siya with respect to the line of action of P? Sir, ito pong red, tulad ng DT din po ba yan? Kasi take note sir, perpendicular area din po yan eh. Okay, that's wrong. Mali po yun. Kasi, etong red part na yan, which is ito, ay considered na yan to solve for the bearing stress. Okay? So, for the failure na rin yan ang bearing stress. Kaso, when you say maximum average tensile stress, okay, ano na lang ba yung area na kailangan ma-maximize para makapag-produce ng ganyang stress? So, kailangan nating tanggalin or kailangan nating i-consider na wala na tong bearing area. Okay? Wala na yung bearing area between the plate, okay, and the rivet. So, kapag tinanggal na natin yan, guys, ano na lang yung natirang area? Which is itong color, blue na lang po. Okay? So, yan na lang yung area na mamamaximize in order to solve for the tensile stress. Okay? Hindi yung gross area, hindi yung buo. Hindi rin po yung buo. Mali din po yung buo. Kasi, parang kinonsider mo na lang din yung bearing part. Take note, ano tayo, tensile stress lang, kailangan natin i-consider dyan. So, ito ang mangyari. Ang maging area lang, guys, ito lang po. Yung dalawang blue, no? Blue part. So, that is the area. Medyo challenging, no? Pero, yan yung nangyayari, guys, pagdating sa plate. Okay? Then, solving for this one, so, the stress sigma is equal to P over A. So, yung P natin, directly, yan po ay 50 kilonewton. Hindi na po siya with respect to rivet. Kasi ito ay sa plate. Kumbaga, ano yung may experience naman ng plate. But since yung P is directly applied dun sa plate, therefore, 50 kilonewton talaga yung i-consider natin as P. So, we have 50 times 1,000. Again, this is Newton. Then ito, 130 times 25. So, ganito guys. In order to solve these blue areas, ang mas mabilis na gawin is kunin natin yung buo. Which is manggagaling din po yan dito. Okay? 130. Kasi ito yung 130 eh. Okay? This is 130. No? Then ito, this is yung thickness is 25. So, in order to solve for the gross area muna, so we have 130 times 25. The gross, no? The gross area. Then, itong 20 times 25, which is ito, this is what we call the bearing area, which is A sub B. Ito po yun, yung A sub B. Therefore, kapag pinag-minus mo yung gross pati bearing area, ito na yung tinatawag nating net area. Okay, net na lang. Okay, yan yung mga kailangan nating terms, no? Net area. Okay, then to solve, we have the stress equal to 18.1818 megapascals. Okay, so at least nakita natin yung mga difference, no? Na based sa concept ni shear, bearing, and normal stress. So, yan talaga yung purpose ng problem na yan. Okay? Next, for the last problem, I think, so we have problem number 4. So, a steel pipe column supports a load of 11 kilopounds. So, the steel pipe rests on a square steel base plate, which in turn rests on a concrete slab. So, letter A, determine the bearing stress between the steel pipe and the steel plate. Letter B, if the bearing stress of the steel plate on the concrete slab must be limited to 90 psi, what is the minimum allowable plate dimension A? Okay, so ito lang ipapansin ko sa inyo guys. Pinapahanap sa atin dalawang bearing stress. Pero ang common lang dito, kapag pinapasolve sa atin yung bearing stress, laging may involved na 2 components or 2 materials. Okay? So therefore, kailangan natin makuha yung contact area between those 2 materials. So sa letter A, steel pipe and the steel plate. Sa letter B, steel plate pati concrete slab. Okay? Then again, dito rin mag-a-apply yung binanggit ko kanina, that the bearing stress is a special type of normal stress. Wherein kung mapapansin nyo, yung 11 kilopounds with respect to the cross-sectional area, okay? Cross-sectional area ng, for example, ito muna, itong steel pipe, yan po ay naka-perpendicular. Same din po dito, no? Sa base plate natin, na kapag pinroject nyo pa yung line of action ng force, kapag tatama yan sa steel plate, naka-perpendicular din. Same with concrete slab, no? Naka-perpendicular din po yan. So, eto medyo naka-isometric lang kasi guys, pero sa centroid yan tumatama. Centroid. Ayan. Okay. So, hopefully, masundan itong last problem. Solve natin. So, letter A, determine the bearing stress muna tayo. So, bearing stress between the steel pipe and the steel plate. So, in that case, guys, we need to isolate the system of the steel pipe and the steel plate. So, para mas mabilis natin ma-imagine, check natin yung top view. Tumingin tayo from the perspective of the application of the force, which is itong 11 kilopounds. O take note, naka-English po tayo. So, dito tayo mag-perspective para makita natin yung contact or bearing area. So, kung titingin ka sa from top view, ano yung makikita nyo between steel pipe and the steel plate? Okay? Then, ito yung 4 square steel base plate kung titingin ka sa taas. Then, kung titingin ka rin naman sa steel pipe, no? Ito yung makikita mo. So, ibig sabihin, parang nakapatong nga naman talaga si steel pipe kay steel plate. Okay? So, steel pipe column. So, ngayon, since meron na tayong two materials, na-identify na natin, ano yung contact area or bearing area between these two materials. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung application ng force. Diyan tatama po sa centroid. Wherein, kung makikita nyo rin po, yung centroid nito, na itong steel pipe, ay nag-coincide dun sa centroid ng steel base plate. When you say coincide, guys, same location. Okay? Ito, circle naman yan, perfect circle. So, ang center niya nandito. Ganon din po dun sa base plate natin. Since rectangular ba yan? Square pala, square. So, square. So, na-centroid niya, na dun din. Therefore, nag-coincide. Okay? So, dyan tatama yung 11 kilopounds. Dun sa centroid. Again, concept ng normal stress. Okay? So, pakita lang natin yung axis. Then, ngayon, ano yung contact area nila? Tama po ba na yung contact area between these two materials is yun din yung area ng steel pipe column? Tama naman po, di ba? Kasi yun yung dinikit mo doon sa base plate. So, in that case, ang magiging contact area natin is manggagaling doon sa area ng steel pipe column. Okay? So, applying this concept wherein the area of the steel pipe column is also equal to the contact area between the two components. Okay? So, sana naintindihan po yung part na yan. So, solve natin. So, yung bearing force natin, equivalent na rin po yan sa 11 kilopounds. Okay? So, we have 11. So, gawin lang natin ulit na PSI kasi pounds, no? Pounds naman. Kaya, meron ulit multiplier na 1,000 over the area. Sir, bakit po may ganito? No? Bakit po pi over 4, 6.5 squared minus 6 squared? Okay, isa-isayin natin, guys. Take note na itong steel pipe column is considered as hollow. Okay? So, when you say hollow, butas, no? Hollow, hindi po siya solid. Okay? Kasi kung solid, edi isang diameter lang po yon. Pag hollow, dalawang diameter ang i-consider natin. So, meron tayong binigay dito na outside diameter na 6.5. So, for example, ito yung 6.5 natin. O, gawin ko ng dilaw. Ito yung 6.5. Ay, ayusin ko lang, guys. Yan. So, 6.5. Yan na yung outside diameter. So, inches po yan, no? So, inches. Yan. Therefore, kailangan din makuha din natin yung inner. Okay? Ito po yon. Yan. Inner. So, we have 6 inches. Okay? So, sir, paano po ba natin makuha itong contact area? E di, gawin mo natin buo. I-solid muna natin. So, considering the solid part, so ang makukuha natin yung outside diameter. So, we have pi over 4. Paano ba to? Okay. Sige, dito na lang. Pi over 4 d squared. Dito ko na nilagay, guys. Pi over 4. Okay? 6.5 squared. So, yan yung area considering the solid and the outside diameter. Kaso hollow po. So, ibig sabihin nabutasan. Nabutasan. Okay. Nabutasan rather. Nabutasan siya ng etong inner, which is 6. So, paano naging 6 pala to, guys? So, with respect to its dimension, di ba may thickness tayong binigay dyan na ito, wall thickness na 0.25. So, ito ay 0.25 din. Ito ay 0.25 din. Okay? So, in that case, 6.5 minus 2.25, edi magre-result ka sa 6. So, i-minus natin yung inner. So, we have minus pi over 4 din times 6 squared. Okay? Then, factoring out pi over 4, kaya naging ganito. Pi over 4 times the quantity, 6.5 squared minus 6 squared. Okay? Guys, mali po ito ha. Baka may gagawa po ng ganito. Pi, ano yun? Maraming gumagawa po ng ganito eh. Pi over 4, outside diameter, let's call it DO, minus inner diameter, then squared. Mali po yan, no? Hindi po yan mag-i-equal dito sa ginawa natin. Okay? Take note i-x ko yan. Mali po yan, mali. Wag na wag nyo pong gagawin. Ikamamatay nyo po yan. Okay? So, mali po yan, guys. So, in order to solve this one, the bearing stress between the contact area of steel pipe column and steel base plate, so we have 2240 minus, 2240.9016 PSI. Kasi yung force natin ay pounds, ang area natin ay square inch. Okay? So, we have PSI. Okay? So, for letter B, the bearing stress of the steel plate on the concrete slab. So, pinapaharap naman, what is the minimum allowable plate dimension A? So, sige, ganun pa rin yung concept, guys. Kaso, ang material na natin dito is the steel plate and the concrete slab. So, wala na tayong pakialam dun sa steel pipe. So, ngayon, babalik tayo sa tanong, ano ba yung bearing area between the steel plate and the concrete slab? Ito po yun. So, let's say this is the concrete slab, no? Then, nakapatong sa kanya yung base plate. Okay? So, medyo lumiit na yung part na yan. Pero base plate pa rin yun, guys. O, same pa rin yung centroid nila, guys. Kung saan, dun din tatama po yung 11 kilopounds. Okay? So, that is the contact area between two components. Kung mapapansin nyo, guys, nung pinatong si steel base plate kay concrete slab, therefore, ang contact area is equal din dun sa area ng steel base plate. Okay? Yun yung dumikit dun sa concrete slab. Therefore, yung sa pagitan nilang dalawa, yung total area din talaga ng base plate. Okay? So, solve natin kasi ang kailangan daw natin is ma-design yung steel plate wherein square siya. So, pare sila ng dimension. We have the A. A din po yan. Okay? And i-base natin yan and must be limited to 90 PSI. So, gagamitin pa rin natin same approach. Ito po yun. No? So, we have this one. The bearing stress is equal to the bearing force over the area bearing, no? Or contact area. So, wherein limited lang daw to 90 PSI. O, take note, ito ay PSI or equivalent to pound per square inch. Therefore, dapat yung 11 kilopounds must be converted to pounds. Kaya tayo may times 1,000 dyan. And since ito ay area B o area bearing, ano ba yung area ng square? So, 8 times A. Therefore, we have A squared. Then solving for A is equal to 11.0554 inches. So, yan na po yung magiging sagot natin dyan, guys. Okay? So, ang conclusion natin dito, guys, dapat yung magiging dimension ng A ay hindi na bababa ng 11.0554 inches. Kasi ganito, guys, pansinin nyo. Dapat ang sagot kasi dito kapag nagde-design tayo, since we are talking with minimum, so ang minimum dapat ng A na yan, okay? So A must be greater than or equal to 11.0554. Okay? So kunwari, may choices, no? May choices. Kunwari lang naman. Okay, so kunyari, ang final answer, letter A, 11. O letter B, 12. O kunwari, ganyan na lang. Okay? So, anong tama, no? Anong tama sa pagde-design? Sir, wala na, in actual naman kasi, wala namang 11.0554 talaga. No? Kunyari, bibili ka ng square steel base plate sa hardware o di kaya sa isang supplier, no? Supplier sa construction. Sasabihin mo as engineer, sir, pabili nga po ng 11.0554 inches na base plate. Aba, syempre, tatawanan ka nun. Tama po ba? Tatawanan ka ng supplier kasi wala namang ganong exact. Okay? Etong computation na to, sinasolve lang natin yan, or yung computations natin, ginagamit lang natin as basis. O ngayon, pinapili ka. Sir, 11 by 11 po ba o 12 by 12 inches ang kailangan po nating bilhin? Based sa computation mo, 11.0554. O, take note, dapat hindi na bababa ng 11.0554. So ang pipiliin mo must be 12. Okay? Hindi po yung 11. Okay? Kasi, sir, bakit kung 11 pala yung gagamitin ko since maliit lang naman yung diferensya? 11.055 lang naman eh. Okay. Substitute nyo ulit dito. Okay? Meron kang bearing force na 11 times 1,000 over 11 squared. Okay? 11 squared. For sure, kapag bumaba yung bearing area mo, tataas naman yung stress. Kaso, meron kang 90 PSI, no? 90 PSI lang. So, dapat, sabi dyan, must be limited lang to 90 PSI. So, ibig sabihin, dapat hindi na tataas ng 90 PSI. Okay? So, hopefully, nasundan yung part na yun, no? O, kunwari, sinubstitute mo, 12 squared. O, therefore, tama lang yung design mo kasi kapag sinolve mo yan, 11 times 1,000 over 12 squared, mas bababa yan ng, from 90 PSI, mas bababa yung stress. Okay? Try to solve that with using your calculators, no? So, hopefully, no? Etong part na to is nasundan. Kasi yung konsepto nito is sobrang mahalaga, sobrang critical, no? Pagdating sa design. Okay? So, that concludes our lecture. So, hopefully, marami kayong natutunan today. So, thank you everyone for listening. Bye-bye!